We were born into this, okay?
Oh, how America first of you.
The one-eyed crow demon that was worshipped among the ancient Germanic people, he thinks is Jesus. Everyone's ancestors did evil stuff. This whole idea of we should never apologize, we should be proud of the evil things our ancestors did. No, that's what sociopaths believe. Deseret nation will never exist. Some of your ancestors were evil, and the folk gods of Europe were demons.
This is so getting demonetized.
The most authentic American of Americans are white Mormons and black people.
This episode is brought to you by Go and Do Travel, specifically their Gospel on the Nile tour in Egypt. For discounts on all of their tours, please check out the links in the description.
You don't know about Christian Ascania, Cardin?
No. What's going on?
So, I talked about this years ago, and everybody ignored me, and now it's getting hard to ignore on this subject because I sounded the alarms.
Okay. What are you? Hold on. Let me click on this. You're going to call this guy some right-winger,
yes.
Some whatever. Are you just doing the Dan McClellan thing, or are you... Here, hold on. We'll
see. How about this? Go to his profile, and you get 3 scrolls. Watch the stuff he posts and tell me if you don't get... this guy is straight out of the wacky bag of vibes.
Okay.
Just do it. It's called the profile 3 scroll rule. Okay, if he passes, I forfeit everything I'm about to say. But you got to be honest, Cardin.
Okay, no, I am being honest.
You can't you can't like
a social media audit. I know, but what if is this some guy you know is autistic and you're like making fun of him, or like is this?
There are many people who are autistic that do not espouse the bug nutty bat insanity that this guy.
Okay, what is he snufferite? Are you saying like?
I love the snufferites. This guy is far from a snufferite.
Like Dez-nat stuff or what?
He is the logical endgame of a Dez-nat. But even Dez-nats would be like, oh, I don't know about this guy.
So hold on. It says, well, so far he's well behaved. It says, we talk about this in my Nordic Israelism. Okay, now that just sounds cool. Nordic Israelism. Wow.
Yeah,
that sounds like something you'd be into. Like, this is like mud floods or what?
Nordic Israelism. You don't think that's a red flag of something really weird to come?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I haven't done the math yet. Like, Nordic people are cool.
Just click on his profile and see what you think.
Okay, so Word Radio Show, I'm unfamiliar with this topic. If you want to do a space or host a show, the idea is that Northwestern Europeans are Nephites and descendants of Hagoth? Whoa, that's actually kind of cool. Wait, so Northwestern Europeans, so what, like English people and the tip of France are Nephites and descendants of Hagoth? Well, the history of Europe goes back a lot farther, I think, than Hagoth would have, but that's still pretty fun to think about. He went from the Americas to Greenland to Scandinavia. Nordic Israelism, European origins.
Yeah, I know exactly where this is going.
Okay, I'm clicking.
I know exactly where this is going.
So far it's good. Look, he's got his little angelic cherubs and some Nordic Chad elf.
Those are Viking gods.
Okay.
Not angelic cherubs.
An ancient man in a modern world.
Oh, every time they say that, it's countdown to a swastika.
Look, he's followed by Matthew L., Mike Lee, and 5 others, right? These are reputable people. Then Christian Wisconsin, first pinned tweet. I think anti-white sentiment is a much larger issue. I think the pride flags and every the house in Salt Lake and Provo is the issue. I think the feminism, the assault, our ancestors weren't evil. Okay, that's fine. So he's saying, hey, don't mess with my Texas. Don't what's so bad yet, bro? So
I am convinced.
I'm 1, maybe 2 scrolls in.
Wait,
up on your third.
Okay. First.
What?
And you hate to say it, but this is the reality. Okay, I learned a long time ago. My friend Stuart's mom, Susan. It was like during the first BLM, back with like, remember when the DeRay McKesson, the early BLM, the guy who had the puffer vest. He was always going and talking with the puffer vest, and that was like, it was that era before
before Patrice Culler took all the millions of dollars and just moved into my neighborhood. Yeah, okay.
Okay, no. Indeed, really, she's around here.
Close enough.
That's kind of cool.
I won't say where here is.
So I remember we were having a conversation. She was like, it's Kwaku, when you guys say you're proud to be black, everyone's fine with it, but how come when we say we're proud to be white, people get mad? And I asked,
okay,
is there ever like I said, no, I don't think anyone would be mad, but just that the people that say that always end up holding swastikas. And she's like, that's true. If they didn't have it's like every time they say I'm proud to be white, when they do the hand sign after, it kind of ruins the thunder.
Well, yeah, because that's a specific ethnocentric movement of the 80s.
Yeah. So there are certain keywords. If a guy on Twitter is saying, I don't like anti-white sentiment, and you go, and you click on his profile, and it's like his son getting attacked in Baltimore by a bunch of black people.
Yeah, I don't like anti-white sentiment.
Horrible.
Okay.
Whenever they post that with our ancestors weren't evil, Vikings, and I'm an ancient man in the modern world, you should know this guy believes in.
How do we know that's not like the Warrior Poet Society? How he's not venerating Thomas Jefferson?
I just can't wait till you keep watching. You're gonna be like, wow, Quakey was right about everything he says. But I get where he's coming from. It's the Robert Sepher school of thought. Okay, Robert Sepher is
Robert Sepher.
Oh gosh, you got okay. All right, Robert Sepher is an anthropologist who basically does alternative history, kind of Graham Hancock style, but his end diagnosis of everything in history is that white people are a part of a divine heritage from the pagan gods, literally put on earth, that they are the supreme beings, and everyone else is not as divine as white people.
So it's like the Nation of Islam, but instead of the baddie being the white guy from the other bodies, it's the bad. He's the goodie. So this is what Robert Sepher believes, and this is what Christian Ascania believes.
But our church is a big target for these people. It's called I call it Abrahamic Americanism. They call it British Israelism, Nordic Israelism. It's always going to be evil when they take a part of Europe and then they put that in front of Israelism, because what they're saying is the true tribes of Israel are of this certain Germanic bloodline. And you keep asking, hey, where did that bloodline go to? Which are the heroes? It goes to all the good ones, George Washington and Jefferson, and then some leaders in Germany. And then, hey, which leaders in Germany were the chosen people of God? And
okay, hold on. Let's see if your thesis carries water.
I guarantee the first video you click on will have a swastika. I will put down $1,000 right now. A swastika will appear in the first video.
I think I just saw a flash of one in that.
Oh,
video
did you, Alan? Of course. I
just saw a flash.
Okay, just what? Click on his crazy video.
What? Which one?
The one that's like half down.
Okay. Listen, sons of Jesus Christ.
Okay, so this is the third scroll.
Whoa!
Oh my God! Hold on, I gotta click on it.
There it is!
Oh no! Oh no! Wait, hold on.
Listen, sons of Jesus Christ, Woden. He thinks Jesus is Odin, the one-eyed crow demon that was worshipped among the ancient Germanic people. He thinks is Jesus.
No, are you kidding me? Wait, hold on. I'm going to do this in real time. Oh, hold on. This has got to be a mistake. Wait, so Christian Ascania.
Right there.
No, this is a repost. From himself.
Yeah.
Okay. So listen, sons of Jesus Christ, Woden. You come from a lineage of pharaohs and warriors.
Oh, by the way, they think the ancient pharaohs were not Egyptians or Africans. They think they were also European white people.
Huh. Your ancient ancestors were called Nephites and had a mighty nation spanning the Americas. So now the Nephites, they escaped its collapse to Europe. It's our duty to bring civilization to all the peoples of the earth. And then, oh my gosh, Kwaku, I don't... Hold on. Let me try this again.
Mike Lee, our senator, follows this lunatic.
Hold on. Well, just because you follow him doesn't mean you support him. You might just be monitoring him. Let's see.
That's fair.
Okay, so we got a bunch of Vikings. Oh no, but look, dude, look at that. Okay, now so some of this might just be AI. Okay, that's not a good look. That could have been just AI generated. But then I go back here and I think I saw that's getting kind of close. But then I hate to say it. I think towards the end here I saw that's the Indian version. But then.
Right there.
Right there. That's like exactly what it looks like, isn't it?
There's another one.
Here's the thing.
How do we know?
The minute somebody, and this is, I'm sorry. Every group has a fault. I'm sorry, Cardin. I hate to red pill you on this. The minute any guy is somewhat pagan talking about how your ancestors weren't evil, and we must bring back the old gods, They are an Nazi.
Okay, I'm doing-
always are 100%.
Okay, I'm doing the fourth scroll. Look,
Another
Bro,
scroll.
maybe,
the
how
first
do you know
one.
it's not some? How do you know it's not? I'm trying to give this guy grace. How do you know this is not some progmo just trying to make conservative Mormons look good by
What
putting
progma would go through the depths of this?
the
By
same
the way,
Calvin Burke that tried to ruin your life for
he wouldn't
3
do
years.
this. No. They just do it. No. Also, okay, Alan, you're a non-member.
Uh-huh.
You've never been a member of the church.
Uh-huh.
Because Cardin believes that wokeism is the biggest destructor to the LDS church.
Yeah, because for every one of these cats that's like posting autistic AI generated memes, please tell me this one's not bad too. Okay, I'm not seeing over. Okay, good. So the fourth scroll was okay. But for every one of these cats that's doing some autistic thing with like 2 followers.
Oh
how
wait,
many
no, that one
followers-
had one. Had one.
What?
It had one. Wait, go back down. Go back down. It had one.
Wait, where?
Ah, it had like 3. Oh wow, he loves
Span
them.
of like a
Oh
second.
my.
Oh no! Wait a second. Did it?
It was like bang, bang, bang.
I thought I saw one.
Keep
one.
going.
But my
Ah, wait.
no, it wasn't. See?
No, that's
was- no,
that's
that-
a Nazi sign.
No, that's Japanese, bro.
No. Go not the Japanese guy before that.
Okay, that's really close.
No. You go back. Go back.
I'm going
Okay,
back.
go. Okay. No. Okay. Forward. Just slowly.
This is the depressed Wojak meme.
Okay. No. Keep going. Now go forward.
Okay, go forward.
I'll tell you when to stop. Go. Keep going.
Okay.
Keep going. Keep going.
My dreams. It's the Earth.
Keep going.
Chad. Dream.
Stop. Go back. What?
That?
That's a Nazi sign.
Really?
Yes.
That looks like something you'd see on like a Mayan temple.
Yeah.
No,
it looks like
that's
some
a
kinda like-
it's a Nazi sign.
Huh. Weird. This is so getting demonetized.
Okay, but Alan, okay, as a guy who's never been a member of the church,
Yeah.
you walk into Sunday service with a friend,
Uh-huh.
LDS Sunday service, and there's 2 talks that you could hear.
Mm-hmm.
One is a progressive Mormon dude with a rainbow pin saying, "We need to love everybody and make a space for everybody." And you go, "Okay, this is definitely heavy progressive vibes in the church."
Mm-hmm.
Or
No,
a guy,
that's not
wait,
the
let me.
progressive- That's not what they'd be saying. They'd be saying leftist identitarian crap.
Doesn't matter. Okay, they're saying we need to have same-sex marriage in the church, and women need to hold the priesthood, and we need to be a
There we
progressive
are.
church. Okay,
That's
you hear
the
that?
progressives we love and
Okay,
recognize.
you may come out thinking, "Well, the LDS church has gone kind of liberal." Then you come back the next week, and a guy up there says, "Listen to me, sons of Odin." The spirit of Adolf is strong with us. Our ancestors were not evil. Which one do you think is crazier, Alan?
Honestly, the Adolf one. That
Uh-huh.
I would be sitting there and like, I'd leave, because I don't know what I would be hearing. What does that have to do with?
Or you could
anything?
learn the true history of your heritage, bro. Apparently, it came out of Northwestern Europe. Wait, okay, so hold on. We're going back.
So wait, Cardin, this proves
okay.
these people make us look infinitely crazier than the Bernie supporter. I would rather teach elders
not
quorum.
infinitely. To me, it's the same.
I would rather teach elders quorum
No, but how do
with
we
a
know
Bernie
this isn't-
bro as opposed to a listen to me, sons of Odin,
because
bro.
because the Bernie Pro is rational, but his sin is pride, and he's willing to sacrifice his society and his friends and everybody else's money at the altar of fueling his ego. How do we know this isn't just mental illness? Because look, I come down here, and Christian Esconcia, he passed the 4th scroll, but not the 5th scroll. The true Israelites are the Germanic, Celtic, Slavic, Italic, and Hellenic tribes. So at least we know.
Pause.
Hey guys, before we go any farther, I just want to put a plug in for Go and Do Travel, specifically their Gospel on the Nile tour in Egypt. I just had a chance to take the tour myself, and let me tell you, it is amazing. The hosts are incredible. You got Greg Madsen, you got Bruce Porter, you got Brian Mickelson. They show you a phenomenal time culturally, but also spiritually and intellectually. They show you all the temples, all the sites, and they contextualize memorize the Book of Mormon, the Book of Abraham, the Old and the New Testament in a way that you have to experience it yourself. So in order to help you in that process, I have included a couple of links in the description of this video. Use Ward Radio 5 to receive 5% off all of their tours. But you got to check out Gospel on the Nile. It's an amazing experience. Check out the links in the description. Without any further ado, let's go.
The Germanic, Celtic, Slavic, Italic, and Hellenic tribes.
Yeah.
That's Europe.
Yeah, but all the white
He's
supremacists
saying-
don't like Slavs and don't like Italians.
I know, but it's the whole no more brother wars. All, we're all united in Europe. Because, they think the first time in history, if Europe gets united, they'll stop killing each other.
Okay, but this is why I think it's BS, though, bro. Look at this video. So look at this video right here. We'll do it again. Reclaim my gospel. It's got the guy from Dune, like Napoleon, Nauvoo Legion, and then watch this. So there's the temple in Kirtland, but here it comes. Are you kidding me? No active LDS person would put the Godmakers cartoon in there. I think this is evangelical anti-Mormon BS masquerading.
No, Carden, you don't want to recognize what's there. I've seen this for years. People have called this out. He's using that clip in spite of... Oh, by the way, he's using that clip on purpose. Christian Ascania believes that what that video espouses is true, but is good. He's not. That's not what we believe. He goes, it is what we believe. I'm happy about it. He believes in eternal polygamy. He believes black people are cursed. Like, that's what he's proud of.
First off, who's the he, though? How do we know this literally is not an activist who's trying to either
Because there are
the
a bunch of Dez-nats in our church. Chris Hardman is one of them that believe in this Robert Sepher school of thought.
Who's Robert Sepher again?
He's the anthropologist on YouTube who does alternative ancient history and comes to the conclusion that white people are the divine race.
Okay, now hold on a second, though. If I wanted to do damage to the church...
Total, he's got about 500,000 subscribers.
Okay. If I want to do damage to the church and I want to do damage to Ward Radio, friends in my ward, my stake president, anybody, what I would do is I would create a website called Christian Brotherhood in Arms.
No, you wouldn't.
And
No,
it
you
says
wouldn't.
Christian Ascania.
No, you wouldn't.
And
You
then I would
create-
have AI-generated videos throwing in subtle Nazi imagery. How do we know there's a real person attached to this?
You know why? Because we actually know what the anti-Mormon Trojan horses look like. It looks like Mormon Sunday School when RFM started that channel. Understanding Mormonism by John DeLynn. We actually know. Cultural Hall. They take terms that are normal Mormon stuff and they make it presenting as if it's normal, and they give you information that's critical. What out of all the people you've gone to church with, Carden, who have become ex-Mormons, I want you to name one that says, you know what? Norse pagan revivalism is truly the thing I'm going to run with.
Okay, maybe this guy's just smarter. Like, honestly, I wouldn't do what RFM does if I were
What's more
trying
likely,
to...
that this guy believes this, or that he's secretly an anti-Mormon liberal trying to make the church look bad? What's more likely? You know the answer. He believes this stuff.
No, I think it would be easier for an anti-Mormon to do damage by doing this than by doing what RFM does.
You're saying
he pays no price in his real life. RFM at least pays a price in his real life.
So you're saying
by putting his face on it.
You're saying you think Christian Ascani, this account, is actually an ex-Mormon, anti-Mormon who's doing this as a LARP,
or a mentally ill person.
Well, you got to be mentally ill to do this no matter what, right?
Okay.
I hate to okay, but here's the reality though. There's a number of people that are in the Desnet camp that believe in this kind of stuff, in this like European esotericism stuff, which is, by the way, just fallen angel worship. An unfortunate reality is, anytime people get like too weirdly obsessed with race, they end up worshiping fallen angels. Every single race conscious doctrine.
So now the pagan Norse god guy isn't so weird because you're saying that he's worshiping fallen angels.
Yeah, no, this guy's a devil worshiper. Oh, the European folk gods are fallen angels for sure. Odin is a demon. Zeus is a demon. Those are all demons. They're all evil. The Mount of Olympus is just Mount Hermon when the demons were on it as the fallen angels. We know this, right?
Okay.
So, and that's the thing. Every kind of race-conscious doctrine ends up in two ways. One is taking little girls as wives, because you got to get them when they are the most pure, and they have not been touched by the Negroes. And then the other one is we need to return to the old gods. We got to return to the old gods. I can't worship a Jewish savior. And they go into their demon worship of the ancient pagans. Yeah, that's how it always works, every single time. The end result of white nationalism and white identity and white racialism is pagan demon worship. The end result, same thing in any country. The people that get really into Pan-African nationalism, after a while, you're like, hey, who do you worship? Oh, yeah, that's a demon. Okay, yeah, you're worshiping a demon. Hey, I have a question. For people who, Odin, whatever weird European folk gods, and the people who worship the strange African folk gods, read the texts that are left over from it and ask, all right, is there anything in here where I got to sacrifice a kid? And there's always a point where they sacrifice a kid because these are demons. Zeus is a demon. Odin is a demon.
Okay.
Odin is not Jesus. He's a fallen angel demon, and this man's a devil worshiper.
Okay. Well, I will say
by the way, the whole our ancestors weren't evil thing is contrary to the gospel. Your ancestors were evil. All of our ancestors were evil. We're not the descendants, but everyone alive right now, the people whose family lines continued, weren't the ones that were polite. We're the descendants of there's a snowstorm coming. There's only a little bit of food left. Boom, boom, mine. That's who we're the descendants of.
I think that's cynical. There's room for altruism, but
let's be honest. Also, sin is real. Sin is real. Like, everyone's ancestors did evil stuff. This whole idea of we should never apologize. We should be proud of the evil things our ancestors did. No, that's what sociopaths believe. So when I love Jacob Hansen. Jacob Hansen is a brother of mine, but he sometimes says he even says like our ancestors. Jacob Hansen's done our ancestors weren't evil. No, Jacob, some of your ancestors were.
Well,
some of mine were.
Some of them, yes. But
I'm sorry. Like this is what Southern lunatics who hold the Confederate flag say. Our ancestors weren't evil. They were so evil. That's why God destroyed the South. Like he He told Joseph in the Doctrine and Covenants, these people are evil. They can. And you know what? He sent the Union Army through and destroyed the South. They had it coming as much as the Aztecs. I'm glad Missouri never recovered. The point.
Jeez. Okay.
Oh, they're gonna be mad about this one. They're gonna be mad.
Okay, wait, hold on. So this is the only thing I don't get though, is realizing there's no freedom of speech.
Bro, the Southern Army was so bad they got beat by a bunch of newsies. They got a bunch of here, Mister, buy the newspaper right here. You guys need to grab this gun and go fight some rednecks. All right, that's who you lost to. The Southern Army was so crappy. It took one guy.
It took a chimney sweep.
The freaking march. When he just said, you know what? The Southern Army is so bad. Sherman, I want you just to take fire. Just walk through the South and set it all on fire. They're going to be so bad at fighting back. They're not going to be able to stop you from just walking through. We need Sherman's march and just let the whole thing on fire. That's how bad they were at fighting back. God was not on their side.
Okay, I don't know if I would say Sherman's march to Savannah was. We can litigate the Civil War later. I'm just going over. Okay, so Christian Ascania, realizing there's no freedom of speech, all my friends getting banned and demonetized, I could be next, and there's a heavy-breathing anime person as though he suffered a big struggle. This is one of those things where I'm just like, okay, I don't think it's a big struggle. I'm going to play this recording. I want to see if it's a real person. I think I win if he's posting podcasts here. 78 people tuned in. So he obviously does not have a big audience at all. Half those people could easily just be...
Doesn't matter. Crazy people, you got to start off somewhere, remember?
Okay, I get it. But at the end of the day, if this is AI generated or modified speech of any sort, then I win. If
No,
this is a real person,
I don't
then
concede
you
to
win.
that. Of course, the guy who's posting George Washington with swastikas and pagan gods saying our ancestors weren't evil. Oh, by the way, you don't know the book he believes in addition to the Book of Mormon. That's another whole crazy. He has this other scripture. But play the clip. Let's hear.
I'm going to play the most recent one about Nordic Israelism, like you said.
Oh gosh,
European origins and lost migrations from America. 196 people tuned in. Let's hear it.
Oh no.
Hey, at least it's got good elevator music, baby.
This is the sound playing when you enter hell, where all of his gods are. talker.
Yeah. We're waiting for it. We're waiting for it.
Very long intro.
Here it comes. Hold on. I think I hear breathing.
Alrighty, can you hear me?
Huh? Maybe it was a live stream. Maybe he's just getting ready on the live stream. I'm going to click on show this thread. We can just
Hear me?
fast.
Yep, I can hear you. Let's see. 1 second. Hear me now?
There's no way to fast
can hear
forward
you.
either.
Sweet.
Wait, is that a kid?
Alrighty. Well,
Yeah.
I guess we can jump right into it. So I was trying to do a little bit more like studies on the Scythian people. And the Scythian people were,
Wait. I take it all back. He's a kid.
Are we just talking like a minor right now?
What the crap? Did you expect him to be a
He sounds like a prepubescent teen that
Yeah,
just started
what?
creatine in
from
the
about
gym.
1000
Like-
BC.
Where are his
and the
parents?
Scythians go through a phase from about 400 BC, or 500 BC to about 200 BC, and then they have a third phase from 200 BC to about 200 AD. And so,
I don't think it's a kid. It's probably a college student.
that basically all last 300 to 400 years. I don't know. Do you think that they're all related? I'm thinking that they might be three, maybe different cultures or something. But
By the way, just
did you
pause,
do
pause,
any
pause,
other
pause.
Research into the Scythians.
And this is, by the way, why these guys often have to have these, that hide their identity. Because he's posting, reclaim your heritage.
It's a 14.
You are a descendant of the... And he's up there. Is it? Check. Is it working? Okay. I'm going to talk about how we're the chosen people. What?
Bro
Yeah.
probably weighs like 90 pounds wet.
It literally, you can tell this guy is...
So have you been assuaged that maybe this isn't
the
a
school
white...
of thought is still real. I mean, if you look up Robert Sepher, people are pushing this whole thing. The issue is when they finally have their conventions, right? You get there and you're like, oh, I'm in a Dungeons and Dragons convention. Hey, where are the Nazis? Oh, we're
Well,
right
so does
here.
this-
Oh, I thought you guys were supposed to be tough. What do you?
Okay, well,
why is
hold
it like
on.
a Pokemon Go?
Now, does this assuage your theory? My theory is that for every one guy that we think has fallen off of the apple cart onto the right into some kind of shaky waters in terms of racial identitarianism, ends up being some kid that doesn't even know how to use Twitter, whereas very competent, very prideful people, and lots of them have fallen off the apple cart towards the woke side. I believe I've proved my thesis.
Oh, no,
that
no, no.
Wokeism is far worse than
no.
right-wing identitarianism.
No. Right-wing identitarianism. The problem is, they're good at their propaganda until you have to see them in person, and then you're always like, oh, never mind. This is like a. Definitely not an ancient Viking, Nephite, Germanic warrior. Okay, that's actually doing this. It's some kid in Sandy who still has acne and walks with a hunch. You know what I mean? So,
Did it restart from the beginning? Or is that
but Cardin,
Okay,
here's why I think you're wrong on this. Because they don't have an equivalent. If there was a podcast, if there was a Twitter page called the the hero of the progressive Atlantean, all right?
Okay, yeah.
And they did the same thing, but the montage was Susan B. Anthony, Malcolm X, you know what I'm saying?
Kinda based.
Hillary Clinton, and it's like, your ancestors were evil, and the future will conquer. Progressivism is the covenant of the Lord. You're like, whoa, they're leaning really into the That doesn't exist. You just have an academic writing
just 'cause
about
that's not the
why won't
MO.
men close their legs in public? Is man spreading evil? That's the best they have.
Oh no,
that's the
what do you mean
craziest.
the best they have. Activist counselors that are trying to
By the way,
convince
how about this?
vulnerable youth that there's something.
Why
they're
is it
not.
that the left? I'm sorry. So why is it that the left is tougher? Why is it that when we riot, we burn stuff down? When you guys you montage on CapCut, not swastikas with
You
Washington.
guys, I'm not like a freaking 16-year-old trying to figure
No,
out
I'm
Twitter.
just saying left and right. I'm just saying like how come every time we think there's a right-wing protest, it's just a bunch of feds in masks? You know what I mean? It's one guy who's like, "Yes, we are here. I am a Nazi. Are you Nazis with me?" And you're like, "That's not how they talk. You're a Fed, aren't you?" Of course we're not Fed sent. I mean, of course I'm not a. I mean, it's like you're a Fed. Take off your. It's like a clean cut guy with an FBI tat. It's like even when you guys, you know what I'm saying? It's like the best the far right has is a kid in Sandy, who has a lunch budget from his mom at. Bingham High School. I don't know where Bingham High School is. Bingham High School, you know what I'm saying? He hunched over and he's mad because the Polynesian guy is dating the chick he's had a crush on and she doesn't know he exists. So he thinks she doesn't like me because, you know, I gotta reclaim my heritage. It's like, no, dude, you're insanity. It's crazy. Deseret Nation will never exist. Some of your ancestors were evil, and the folk gods of Europe are demons. Don't worship them. Oh, one last thing. He believes in, and he gets a lot of reposts for this. He believes in something.
He gets a lot of reposts?
He gets a lot of reposts when he talks about one subject. The subject is the Ora Linda book. O-E-R-A, Linda. O-E-R-A. The Ora Linda book. It is a compilation of European folk insanity.
Okay, it says the Ora Linda book is a manuscript written in limited Old Frisian, purported to cover historical, mythological, and religious themes to remote antiquity from 2194 BCE to 803 BC among academics in Germanic what's that word? Philology is the philological study of the Germanic languages. Okay, the document is considered to be a hoax or forgery. Interesting. The manuscript first came to public awareness in the 1860s when it had a Dutch translation that was defended as genuine. Okay, since there's been heated public controversy, mostly due to 1930s Nazi occultism, and the book is occasionally brought up in esoteric and Atlantis literature. Okay.
I told you. Okay. These people are out of their mind. And
maybe he's just young. Maybe he's just young and hasn't.
Look, we all did crazy. Look, I've done crazy stuff.
A 45-year-old man who's embracing this wokeism is being far more destructive on society than a 16-year-old who's LARPing in 18th century occult German literature.
I don't know, because the 40-year-old man that's in progressivism is still just going to go to work at his tech company, and this guy is going to send shoe boxes with bombs in them. These people are crazy.
Okay. It was a bunch of leftists that burnt down half my hometown, Los Angeles, and they weren't just going to work at their tech jobs. They were burning down Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And there were no pipe bombs.
Speaking of burning things down, I wonder when the Nazi occultists burned down all of Europe, Cardin. Remember the real example? Remember that?
Yes, we could go back to the 40s.
All of Europe.
You mean the National Socialists? Yes, the National Socialists and the left-wing
the
hierarchy.
National, call them whatever you want. They had the Ora Linda book. They were believing in the same thing this guy believes in, and they got 5 million Germans killed too, by the way. That's the other thing. Racial identitarianism and the whole racial consciousness movement, always, it's the law of karma. They always end up killing their own people more. You know what I mean? It's like this whole... I don't know if you've ever heard this, but if you ever come across on TikTok or something when they have the whole... if we separate all the races, then the violence goes away. There's people who have this idea. It's all over TikTok, all over Twitter, and it's like, are you kidding? When Europe was not diverse at all, that's when they were all killing each other. It wasn't Jamal who assassinated Franz Ferdinand starting World War I. It was a white guy who killed another white guy, and then the French and the English started killing the Germans, who were killing the Russians, who were killing the... It wasn't me. It wasn't like Europe has always been killing each other, and then they said, maybe if we add in more people, it'll stop. And then suddenly the world wars and the massive murders stop happening. Other part of the world right now, Russia and Ukraine. Not a lot of Vietnamese in there causing bloodshed. It's like this whole idea that you separate the races and the murder stops is actually totally the opposite. the more diverse a country is, the less likely they are to commit mass murder against each other.
The more diverse with a shared narrative and historical background or goal. Diversity for the sake of diversity actually can cause a lot of stress, but a racial diversity underneath the auspices of, for example,
Yeah, but I think that happens
American
naturally.
exceptionalism or Judeo-Christian values is a very positive thing.
Yeah, but there has there ever been a country that was diverse for the sake of diversity? It's not really a thing. It's usually because they want. If you want to be there, you're going to be there. But all I know is America. Great, we're a diverse country.
Okay.
We're not in the same trouble as Ukraine and Russia.
Okay.
There's a thing about go to any part of the world. Whenever people double down on that, even Africa, the tribes, there are no white people here. I'm going to kill you. That's how it always works. It's how it works. I'm sorry, it's just true. Like you, separating makes you crazy because then also your bloodline needs more diversity too. And you ever see someone who's like really, really like nobody else has ever gotten in their bloodline? They look kind of creepy. Like this is why Americans are the best looking, because you got a white guy's got some native in there, he's got a little bit of African in there, he's got some ginger, that's why they're the best looking. When you go to like a place where no one else has gotten the bloodline, you're like, even in like small town America, we're like, this is the whitest city, and it's like a place in Kentucky. It's like, how come you guys all look like goblins? Like, how come like one of you needs to sleep with a Mexican, one of you needs to do the due diligence.
You need to toss some culture.
This is
in
unacceptable. You guys look creepy. Same thing with deep Africans. You look creepy. You look like you look like under the bed. You look scary.
Under the bed is
you need
crazy.
to. A Swede needs to come in here and do some. This is unacceptable.
You'll need some light skin in there.
Okay.
I can't wait for the comments of this episode. They're gonna.
Should we bring up the conversation we had at the mall about how Africans hate African Americans?
We did a podcast about that.
Have you
didn't we?
guys done a podcast on
How
that?
Africans don't like black people?
There is some animosity has been stated in certain forums online. Yes.
I can't say what I want to say because I will get it will come back to cancel me more. But
This is one of those like in the car
In the car.
driving talks, like stuck in traffic.
Okay. All right.
I will just say this. We're all children of God. Race is a fake construct anyway. But I will say this: what Black Americans get annoyed at, look, I can trace my mother's family line back to 1750. Okay, my family's been in
Wow,
this country
okay.
for a long time.
Okay.
I'm American.
Okay.
I'm American. I have to
Word.
say African American sometimes just so people like to, if I have to fill out a card or whatever, but I'm American. And you can look at me and tell I'm American. But when I meet a guy who came here at 13 from Nigeria, and he still has the accent,
Okay.
I am just like you. I am African American too. We are the same. It's like no. We were born into this. Okay,
Oh, how America first of you.
Okay. Look. Black people came
Right.
came to America. We came to America. I'm a business owner. I'm a capitalist. I am American. People are like, who's a Marxist? No.
Kind of like Donald Trump.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, and here's the thing. Black people, an American black people born into slavery, and still what? Created so much for America. Okay, so much.
True that.
The music industry, sports, not the same without black people. So much of entrepreneurship is black people, and then Africans who. Some of them sold us.
Like taking our jobs and stealing our chickens.
No. It's like
in
they
Lincoln or what?
they didn't send one boat to rescue one Negro. Not one boat was sent over. Do you think we should go get our brothers? They never asked. They just let us
This is
go.
what happened.
Bye.
We got money.
Your name is going to be Toby. Your name was Otumbe. It is going to be Toby now. Okay. So then we're here in the colonies pouring over. We got new names. Okay. Horrible torture. Complete human trafficking. Freedom comes. We stay and start building. And now, 200 years later, Africans are coming. We are the same. No.
Yeah.
No. Not true. Not true. And by the way,
Oh, are you daring to say, hey, so you're making the blood and soil rhetoric now?
no.
Oh,
No,
ding,
I'm
ding,
not.
ding, 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 ding.
I think everyone should still be able to come. I'm just saying black people get annoyed when Africans come and pretend it's the same struggle. It's like, no. We were born into this. You guys have come and you're reaping all the benefit. They can't even play basketball. Like they're they can't even. You ever seen an African play basketball? They get beat. They're not even good at it. You know what I'm saying? And then, but let me add on this one.
Okay.
They're already getting mad at me as well. Add on one other thing here, okay?
Okay. What?
Wait, let me. Holy crap! They are gonna lose. I'm pissing off everyone. I'm gonna have the.
See, this sounds like a very, Southern dad saying they're coming across the border, stealing our jobs, stealing. It's kind of like the same concept here.
No. They're
So,
I think there's enough space for everybody. I'm just annoyed when they pretend it's the same thing, because you're coming over and reaping the benefits of what Black Americans did to create out of slavery. We started from less than nothing, and now you're coming over pretending we are all one. We are all the same.
So if you were to see, for example,
Baked mac and cheese and all the good Southern food, that's us. How many? You think we're eating couscous? It's like Black American food. Everybody loves it. When you go, let's get some African food. Here is a giant plate that is 6 feet long with different things you gotta mush here. And give me a fork. Do you have forks? It's like you gotta put the couscous in here and you gotta put it here. You're dipping. It's like, no. Am I ordering 7 things on the menu? I'm ordering one thing. I don't want to have to. And this is where I think black people need to be Mormons, because truly, the most authentic American of Americans are white Mormons and black people. And I say black people are different than Africans. I'm going to tell you why. A normal white guy name in America, John, that's not an American name. That's an English
biblical name. Yeah.
Biblical name, but it's an English name.
Yeah.
John was, translated from the Greek and everything. The most American from America and nowhere else are Mormon names and black people names. Make fun of Jamal and Shaniqua all you want. That's an American name. There are no Jamals around in Africa.
Ammon,
Dallin?
Nephi, yeah.
Dallin. What is Dallin? It's American.
Or that might be English.
McKaylee Ann, American.
That's Utah.
Mormon Utah names
that's real.
are American from America. It is American. Black people, it is American. There's nowhere else in the world we're pulling it from.
And if
It is
Jamal
here.
meets McKaylee Ann, then
Many
that's...
such occasions. Many such occasions. And then their kids are on the BYU basketball team.
That's when you get James.
So look, if anything, Mormons should understand. It's the most politically incorrect podcast you've ever done. This is unacceptable.
You get a non-Mormon on the podcast and everything just...
Get a Mormon African. I am very offended by this.
Actually, dude, they're super classy. I love watching them play soccer instead of the faker Europeans and South Americans. I love watching the African guys because they don't fake that they got fouled. They just get up and keep playing, very sportsmanlike. So, this brother approaches you, and what does he say?
Wait, brother.
You were about to start an accent making fun of an African for saying something.
We can play soccer. We can play football. We can play football. Yes, you can play football. Basketball. You're not that good at it. You're not that good at basketball. Okay.
So I don't know any more what we're talking about other than
Christian Ascani is a lunatic, and Africans need to get to the back of the bus. No, no! I'm kidding! I'm kidding! It's a joke! I don't think that! I don't think that! It's a joke!
Okay, I'm ending this one. I don't even know how to end it because we didn't start it, but here we go.